Hello everyone, and let's start our fourth module for this class. And today we will discuss a very interesting topic about the data and how to collect it. So we already discussed in a few in previous modules some concepts about the devices that gather data for us, including pure data gathering sources or some of the log and uh, warnings device generation, as well as log generators. So today we will discuss some of these concepts. We'll talk about the data and the data size from different type of data collection, as well as some of the IDS and IPS available tools, include Snort and Sirigada and Brew and Zik. It's important to mention that this module is very similar to the module that we actually teach in network security monitoring class. However, the point here is that we will look at the data portion of it, so we will not be very concerned about the physical connection of devices, the physical configuration on how to collect it. It's just we need to get the idea where we get it from. So I will start the slides now and let's start our talk today. One moment, I'll open my slides. Okay, so first of all, today we'll talk about network security monitoring data, and it's based on network monitoring tools that we'll discuss. As a first review, in the last module, we talked about the cyber data analysis and the analytics behind it, the packet capture data, firewall logs, IDS and IPS data, and what is the difference between the firewall log and the IPS and IDS data, as well as vulnerability management system. We talked about operating system and how they are the main point of any attack to go into your operating system and gain access to the machine or the device that you have on your network, and the application data and how crucial is the log that comes out from the apps later on. We'll also discuss the network packets as they are the pure data source. Firewall are considered to be not a data source, but it's a log provider. IDS and IPS, they are not data source either, but they provide alerts, and the operating system considered to be part of the pure data. This is one of the questions that you might find in your quiz. And the idea here is just to how to make all of these components to work together so we can get a big picture, and here we can make a good decision about data. So in the data-driven cybersecurity, it's all about data. We are not talking about beliefs, we are not talking about they feel or what is expected. No, we talk about data. And usually, if any person speaks to you in your organization and will tell you, oh, we believe we'll get an attack, it's not the same as somebody will come to you and say, hey, according to the data, we're expecting an attack. And this is where we look for the data-driven approach to cybersecurity. Data-driven approach is used in many other businesses, including financial businesses and so on, because basically getting the data about the users and the products that we have is how a specific company can increase the income and target the correct users and collect location and so on. So this is the approach that we're going to get. And data-driven can be in many topics for cybersecurity, including how to detect threats or incident analysis in the data-driven approach, how to get software testing using data-driven to use a test on specific part to increase it on another part and so on, how to use data-driven for threat anticipation and study the statistics and the big data approach using machine learning to add it, how to use data-driven security architecture as well as incident management or what to do next. Again, we're looking at the whole picture as from the point of view of data. Many of the concepts that we will discuss in this class are similar to other cybersecurity classes that you may have took or will be taking, but the point here we always will be focusing on the data part. And the most interesting thing that is unique for this course, we will be talking about visualization of the cybersecurity data, which is not discussed in any other course, as well as statistical analysis and some machine learning regarding the cybersecurity data. I will remind you that there's two books that I want you, if you have time, to look at it. One of them was books that you already had some homework from for reading chapters for the applied network security monitoring. The other one is data driven computer defense. Both of these books are very good. I will recommend you just at least have access, even for digital version of it, to just get more information about the subject. Some of the terms and definitions that I want to discuss today is the assets. We need to discuss what is the asset, what is the meaning of threat, what is the meaning of vulnerability, exploit, risk, anomaly, and incident, and all of them are part of the risk assessment. Three parts: asset, threat, and vulnerability, and together they interact in a risk. There's a lot of systems and frameworks for the risk, including the risk management framework, when it indicates 5 components for the risk framework, including identification, measurement and assessment, mitigation, reporting and monitoring, and governance at the end. In our case, we look at the security monitoring as something out of the box. It does a collection, detection, and analysis. By collection, mean collect the data from the network asset. Collect something like the PCAP, or the using NetFlow to get some data, as well as getting pstring, which is the session information about PCAP. And for the detection, usually we use IDS or IPS. They can be classified in 2 parts: signatures, signature-based or anomaly-based. Signature-based is very popular, like Snort and Sirigada. Anomaly-based is like Brew, a very popular tool in the IDS and IPS. And the analysis, usually it's a part of your IDS or IPS, or a separate software that collects the data from the IPS and IDS and your firewall logs, and try to do packet analysis, apply some Snort rules, or make a NetFlow analysis. In our case, we'll look at the PCAP collection, the detection to get the warnings out of it, and the result out of the analysis. And we're going to use them and see which one we're going to fit for our machine learning structure later on. For chapter 3 of the network applied security monitoring book, it talks about security onion. That is a complete solution. It includes already Brew and Snowden, Sirigada, and even Wireshark. It's called security onion. You can get the image and download it. The only thing it requires is very high hardware requirements. And for the Zeek or Brew, this is how it looks like. You have the analyzing framework, some engines that can capture protocols, color them. It gives you a good IDS, and also to have a network analysis framework, which give you output like that. You see, or even more cooler, something like that. However, it's just showing you the data, but it doesn't do anything with prediction. So we'll get used to that. We'll study the visualization and make another version of our own later on. For the Snort, it's really an IPS system. It have a lot of signature worldwide known for network activity and network malicious software and so on. It uses rules-based and generate alerts for user and can be deployed inline in your network. This is the logo of the Snort, and this is how it looks like with all the rules. It sniffs the packets, and it has 3 primary use. You can use it as a sniffer, so example TCP dumps that we're going to see in hands-on. It also can be used as a logger, just to log the packets, and can work as a full IPS with warning and dropping packets from the network. The other tool is Sirigada, and in Sirigada it's very similar, but it have IDS for the threat detection. It have an IPS inline. It can offer a PCAP processing offline, and it has a powerful Lua scripting language for complex threat and support JSON as an integration solution for your next action. It supports some tools as Splunk and Kibana. We will have a separate lecture for Logstash and static search and Kibana to see the output of it. And this is how the user interface look like. One of the tools that we always like and we discussed in our previous module is the Wireshark, and you can see this is how you can use it as a protocol analyzer for a microscopic level. It can have a deep inspection, live capturing, TTY mode for T-Shark utilities. It have a nice GUI, as you can see in hands-on today. It also have a voice over IP analysis, as well as encryption, and even some supporting for exporting data, including text and CSV.